Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your man, Aaron Camper. You with my man, D, on the biz.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for tuning into the Biz with D, of course. And right now, we have an amazing artist who, just doing the damn thing, independent songwriter. He's worked with Jill Scott, Diddy and Dirty Money, Chris. The kid, I'm not kid, well, whatever. He is just so dope. And Aaron Camper is on the line with us. What's going on, Mr. Aaron?
Hey, man, I'm cool, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Not a problem. I had to have you come on the show because when I just listened to your music and saw that you had these different placements, that I didn't know that was you in the background on Ordinary Love with my girl.
Yeah, man, that's my that song is so dope. It's a remake from the classic Sade. Dirty Money, they did a remake of it on the mixtape, and, was chilling with Puff. And he's like, yo, just get on this, you know what I'm saying? Just get on this, just sing on it. Just, he was like, yo, put some of that whinings on it, you know what I'm saying? So, we got on it and made it real dope and sexy. So, yeah, it was a great record.
Absolutely. And you would be confused, like, if people didn't know that was you, you would possibly be confused that that was him. Because when he does sing, he does that whining. So,
right.
You had me there. I was like, okay. Diddy got it going on, but no, that was Aaron. So I'm gonna give you due props because you did that.
My man, thank you, bro. Not a lot of people know that, but yeah, that's me.
Absolutely. So let me just ask you before we really get started, how did that whole thing come about for you? Because Diddy, Dawn, Kalina, some badass women. How'd that come?
Yeah. It all came about. My partner, Adam Blackstone, who, got the call from Puff, to work on some of Dirty Money's live shows. And,
right.
He called me to be my partner called me to be a part of it, you know what I mean? And, I just went up there and, started working with the crew and everything. It just branched into something else. Then, we got out here to L.A. I was like, yo, come to the crib. Just cut some stuff, that's just how it goes. You get in, start working with an artist, you start to build a relationship and you get cool over time, you know what I mean? And then, I met Dawn and Kalina, two phenomenal singers and songwriters to their own merit individually, you know what I mean, and collectively, you know what I mean, two of the dopest songwriters I know. So, we just all got in and, it just turned into a record, you know what I mean? It just had me up there. I was just singing on everything that just came up. So, just being around, you know what I mean? Right place, right time, through relationships. So, it's just all a good thing.
Right. And you mentioned Adam Blackstone, who's your partner. And, that guy is freaking phenomenal. Just like, how did you guys connect? Because I like the connection, that musical connection that you guys got. If you guys haven't heard Adam Blackstone's production and with his ink, oh my goodness. Right. I'm talking Deadly.
Yeah, that's my man. That's my man for at least past 5-6 years. I actually met him. He was playing for Mary Mary at the time, and I was still singing with Ty Tribbett at the time. So we met at like a show, and we just started linking. We just linked like, yo. At the time, he was writing for a couple R&B artists, and at the time, I was, just writing on my own, you know what I mean? And from there, we just started linking and started writing for different artists. And over time, we just developed a relationship, and then, from there, it was like, yo, we writing all these songs for everybody else, let's just do something on our own. And, we just, in 2012, we put out the mixtape. On 2011, we put out the mixtape. And,
right.
We just started on our own. So, we've only been doing this for about 2 years on our own. But, we've been working together for a while now, for about a while.
That's great. And you just mentioned the mixtape, Welcome to My World. How was that recording process for you?
Man, bro, at the time, I was still on the road. It was like I did a lot of that. I did a lot of my mixtapes either in my hotel, in a lot of hotel rooms. And I don't think I even saw a studio for that mixtape. We just did it. I just did it on the road where I was. You know what I mean? I just dug in, and we just got it all tight how he wanted it. And, you know, we just did it as we were traveling, you know what I mean? It was just one of those things where I was just, you know, trying to get something out, you know what I mean, to people who wanted to hear something from me or who wanted to hear from me. I just was so anxious to get something out to them. You know what I mean? So we just did it how we had to do it. You know what I mean? Where we was out on the road, I was at my crib, but it didn't matter. I was just trying to get it done. So we got it done, and thank God, a lot of people, you know, they gravitated towards it, and they liked the music. So, you know, I was grateful for that. You know what I mean? So that's how that whole thing came about.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the fact of recording as you were on the road, and I was checking out a video on YouTube. There was another interview you were doing, and you were working during that interview, like you was listening back to the track. So I definitely have seen that from just witnessing it on YouTube for that to be a factor. You know what? It's great that you, as an artist, do that, because there are so many artists that don't do that while they're on the road. They sit back and they just, you know, just focus on that tour. But you really can't when you have also that obligation to yourself and to your fan base, because you still got to get a buzz about yourself. No matter if you're doing background, you're doing just the production side of it with whatever it is, you got to keep the thing rolling. So I've got to commend you on that, because it's smart as hell, and you got a lot of great response from the project. So
yeah, I mean, like you said, I just felt obligated. You know what I mean? I just always feel obligated to anybody who wants to listen to your music. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you feel the same way. You know, if you had 20 listeners, or if you had 20,000 listeners, you feel obligated to those who are, you know, called to you, or those who listen to you. You know what I mean? So you just feel obligated to get something done for them. You know what I mean? If nobody else listens, as long as they listen to you, I'm always gonna feel obligated or indebted to people who like my music to get them something. You know what I mean? As quick as I can, but at the same time, for it to be as dope as I can make it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I definitely feel that, because I'm an artist. Besides doing the show, interviewing you right now, so I know exactly what you're saying. Because no matter if it's just like 10 people, if it's 100 people, if it's 100,000 people, you know, there's still somebody that's going to like it. There's going to be those people that don't. So it's like you gotta still produce in some shape or form.
Yes, sir.
So I also was just looking at some of your musical influences, Michael McDonald, Al Green, Marvin Gaye, and Phil Collins. Like, how would you say those artists' sounds like definitely influenced you as an artist?
I mean, between Michael McDonald and Phil Collins alone, just the uniqueness of their voices. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as a Michael McDonald or Phil Collins record comes on, you automatically know who it is, because their voices are so distinct. You know what I mean? And I kind of like to say, you know, my voice isn't, I don't have a hard voice, you know what I'm saying? And I don't really necessarily do a lot of, I don't like to do a lot of over singing and stuff like that. So I kind of like to pattern myself after those two, so that when you know it comes on, you immediately know it's my voice. You know what I'm saying? And Al Green and Marvin Gaye, just their dynamics, you know what I'm saying, and just how they carried themselves as artists. You know what I'm saying? It was just timeless. It was classic to me. So, you know, I just love those. Artists, as well as a million more. You know what I'm saying? But those guys just really pushed me. You know what I mean? And believe in myself. You know what I'm saying? In my uniqueness as an individual. You know, they really pushed me. You know what I mean? To not be afraid and to just stay true to what you do. You know what I mean? But at the same time, owning and honing in on what it is you do.
Absolutely. And I think what's great is that early on as a child, you were just exposed to all different kind of music, from being your father, being a pastor, and with your sister and stuff like that. So I think that was definitely great, because you got to hear a mixture of everything.
Right. Growing up, I mean, that's just how it was. You know what I'm saying? We had with my sister, we had New Edition and we had the Winans. You know what I'm saying? We had Jodeci and Commission. So, you know, it was just like that in my house. You know what I'm saying? My dad told me you can never stop a good song. You know what I mean? No matter what it is, what song it is. If it's a great song, it's just a great song, hands down. You can't do nothing about it, because it's a great song. So, you know, I'm grateful that my parents never turned me away from great songs. You know what I mean? Because it's still an art. You know what I'm saying? It's an art in and of itself. You know, so and people are all influenced from a million different things. But in my house, music was just there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for that.
That's good. So it definitely seems like your family was really into like music and huge music fans.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Music was going in my house all the time. We wasn't at choir rehearsal. We was home. Somebody's CD player or Walkman or whatever was going off. So somebody was playing some music at all times.
That's what's up. So I mentioned earlier your father being a pastor. I wasn't just growing up going to church and just being in the choir.
I mean, it was what it was. It was when you're young and you're singing or you're playing drums. You know what I mean? Or you're playing an instrument in church. You're doing it out of your heart. You know what I'm saying? A lot of kids. I mean, well, you're doing it because me, my mom, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Boy, get up there and go play them drums. Boy, get up there and go. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes your parents make, but when you get into it and you actually like it, you start to do it from your heart. You know what I'm saying? And that carries over when you get home. I was beating on the pots and pans at the house, you know what I mean, which sparked my intrigue, or which sparked my imagination to be on, to when the commercials on TV comes on, I want to play them songs too. Or when Video Soul comes on, I want to play that song too. You know what I'm saying? Just like I did the church song, or just like I did at church. Or if the jingle come on, I want to sing that song too. So it was a healthy balance, man. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in my house, like, it wasn't, I didn't have hypocritical parents at all. I had honest parents. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, when we got home from church, my dad would take us out back to the basketball court, and we was playing ball. You know what I mean? That is life. And that's what a lot of people really miss out on, is living. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Life. And understanding, you know, what's what. You know what I mean? My dad understood. I need to be on the basketball court with my son. I need to teach my son what a song is. You know what I'm saying? Just things like that. That some people just really overlook, and that, you know, my dad made sure that we understood. You know what I'm saying? He got us under the hood, under the car with him. You know what I'm saying? My son's got to know how to change this oil. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to start this kerosene heater. It didn't matter what it was. My dad was just always, you know, there to, you know, kind of reinforce what living as a man is about. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not just singing in church. It's not just singing in the choir. It's not just singing. You know what I mean? It's not just that. Life is for living and for learning. So, you know, my dad was real big on that whole thing.
And so I know that after you graduated from high school, you moved to Philly. Now, how was that transition being from Maryland and going to Philly for you?
I mean, at the time, I wanted to do music, you know what I mean, more than anything. So coming out of high school, Philly was the scene, you know what I mean, for all of that at the time, because, you know, I graduated in 2003, and at the time, Neo Soul was popping off crazy. You had Jill Scott, The Roots, Bilal, D'Angelo, India.Arie, The Floetry. All of these people, you know, were coming out and were major successes at the time, you know what I'm saying? And it was all coming from Philly. It was all coming from Larry Gold Studio. It was all coming from, you know, Music Soul Child. It was all coming from Jazzy Jeff and Dre and Vidal. It was coming from, that's where the music was. That's where the movement was, you know what I'm saying? So me and my cousin, a couple of my cousins from Maryland, we just hopped in the car. We just drove down there, you know what I mean? We were trying to be at every open mic, every Black Lily event, anything we could get to, we were trying to be there. We were trying to get on, you know what I mean? And, you know, we just threw ourselves into that scene, you know what I'm saying? We threw ourselves into that environment full-fledged, and you know what I mean? And, you know, from just being around and just getting into it, one thing leads to another, one connection leads to another, one networking tool leads to another. It takes you somewhere else. So, you know, from just leaving high school and fully going hard at it, you know what I'm saying? It pays off. It really does. It really did pay off.
Absolutely. And I definitely know that to be true for myself. So that's definitely true. And you mentioned networking, which is so important. And I think a lot of artists just starting out, or artists that might not just be starting out, quite don't understand what networking can do for you and just the tools of social media. And with that being said, my question to you is, did you use any social media to link up with the people that you have collaborated with, or was it just something that just organically came to you?
Oh, nah, hell no, nah. Like when when coming out of high school, there was no social media yet. Not quite yet. You know what I mean? YouTube probably had just came out around that time, but there was no Facebook and Twitter. There was none of that. All it was AIM and your Black Planet. That's all it was. MySpace wasn't out yet, so you just had to back then. It was all about, were you good or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you literally good enough to get up at this event where Vivian Green and Jaguar Wright and Jill Scott may turn up, and are you able to get up there and hold this audience? Because you better believe if Bilal get up here, or if D'Angelo stop through, or if Music Soul Child come through and he got hits, they going to shut it down. So if you want to sing here, are you good enough? Can you sing well enough? Can you rock this audience enough? You know what I mean? To stay here. Can you impress any of the roots with your skills to be here? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. All about skill driven. Like, can you play? Can you sing? Can you rhyme? Can you rap? You know what I mean? That's what it was about. You know what I mean? Do you have MC skills? Can you hold this crowd over? Can you hold their attention? Can you captivate their imagination? Can you do that? That's what it was about. It wasn't about, I couldn't tweet nobody then. I couldn't Facebook them. They didn't know me. So how you get them to know you? You got to have the goods. And that's what a lot of people don't really have today because of social networking, because of all of that. I can set up a Facebook page and make it look like I'm a producer. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people now, like I'm in L.A. now, and I was at the studio the other night, and there was this kid that came in there. He sat in the session, took a picture at the console, and left, and put it on Instagram like, I was in the studio all day. But you know what I'm saying? It's all perception now. You know what I mean? You can make it seem like you're whatever you want to be, but at the end of the day, we're getting a lot of artists who don't really have the goods anymore. You know what I mean? Who don't really have the necessary tools or skills to be what they want to be. So, they get hits off singles and that's it. You know what I mean? So, that's just where the game is. You can't be mad at it, but, that's just where it is. So, back then, you just couldn't do that. You couldn't get away with it.
No, you had to have, like, that real, raw...
Yeah. You got to have something.
Salad. Not like nowadays where you possibly got a little something that, you get breaking off with a single deal or EP deal.
Right.
For, like, a cut. For their cut.
Exactly.
And you see that a lot nowadays. And I mean, you basically kind of mentioned it. You kind of sit back and just like, why is this person where they are? Why is this person even on the television screen trying now? I won't name drop about what television shows, but I'm sure you can. What people on television that don't need to be on there. Like, but you know what? I feel like at the end of the day, though, and I've been having this conversation with a lot of people. Music is music, and there's like definitely a lane for like every type of music. But I feel like what we're missing nowadays is that real music. So it's good to have artists like you, Marsha Ambrose, Vivian Green, Music Soul Child, Dawn, Selena. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have artists with real talent and raw talent. Bridget Kelly. I mean, I could not have forgot her. Brandy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, it's just it's all political now, and it's all how you fit yourself into the situation. I say nowadays it's a real exciting time for music. Even when I put my mixtape out in 2011, it was a real good time for people to put music out. And I, thank God I decided to do it then because, you had everybody coming out with something. There was myself and Dawn and, Frank Ocean put his out. It was just a real good time to put your stuff out if you had something that was of quality. You know what I mean? Because people were open for it. They still are. You know what I mean? And people were open for it then, and they still are now. So it's a good time it's an exciting time in music because there's a lot of lanes that you can create for yourself. You know what I mean? As long as you're willing to put in the work and, do it with excellence, you know what I mean? Or as the best you can, because the people are only taking what's real now, or what's honest, you know what I mean? So that's just what it is, you know what I mean? It's a good time to put your music out now if you got some dope stuff.
So you did a collaboration with Brookie for your mixtape, Welcome to My World, and song's amazing. Like, how did that come about? Because that song is like life. If y'all don't know what song I'm talking about, thought. Like, y'all need to check it out. Download it.
Yeah, that was another call from my partner Adam, man. Like, just from working with different artists, you establish different kind of relationships. Kanye was on there, and Swizz Beatz, Eric Roberson were all a part of that mixtape as well. You know what I mean? And my man DJ Active. It's just again, being at the right place at the right time and taking advantage of the situation and making it all a tasteful situation for everybody else that's involved. You know what I mean? So. It's one of those situations where it just worked out. You know what I mean? We lucked out to do that song with Brandy. So it's just another one of them things, man. That you just have to, when it happens and the opportunity presents itself, just go hard and just do it and do it the right way.
That is so true. Now I know you're going to be you basically are on tour with Dawn, and that's my girl.
Right. BK.
Kalina's always in the mind. Shout out to Kalina. Bridget Kelly, love her. Her. Like, how did that whole, you get on the tour come about? Because I think that is like a really smart move since you already knew Dawn. How did that just, come about for you?
I mean, we did a tour last year with PJ Morton, and PJ had Dawn and myself a part of that same tour as well, a part of his tour as well. And, she put out her Golden Heart EP about a few weeks ago now, and, they called us to do it, and I'm never turning down Dawn. You know what I mean? I respect her artistry and who she is and what she stands for, and her songs I enjoy as well. So there was no way in the world I could turn her down, you know what I mean, for nothing. You know what I mean? Even if I couldn't make it, I'm going to say I can, because that's just my heart, you know what I'm saying? I love that girl to death. So, it's nothing I wouldn't do. And I think we got to have some great shows. We got a Howard Theater on the 24th of February. Some more places in March that it's so many dates is popping up. So yeah, it's gonna be a dope tour, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I definitely heard about the other dates and stuff like that. I mean, I heard a little something. I'm not going to say what I heard on the on the show, but I'm definitely coming to that Philly show. So you already know. Definitely get a chance to meet you in person, but I'm sure it's going to be a great show. I've taught, videos of you performing live. I've already seen Bridget live. I've seen Dawn from way back with Danny the King, and of course with Dirty Money. It's going to be a phenomenal show.
Yeah, it's going to be a dope tour, so I'm excited about it.
So when you go on tour, how do you get prepared?
There is no preparation. I've been on tour consistently for like the past 3 years, bro. Like there is no preparation. You just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like now, the way it is now, I don't say no to anything. You know what I mean? I'm blessed to be in a position where I can, live off of doing what I want to do. And a lot of people take that for granted, and a lot of times I always got to center myself and stay grateful, because there was a time where I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? So I don't say no to anything. You know what I mean? And, that's just my heart towards it. So there's no preparation. You just always stay prepared, and you will never have to prepare for anything. You always be ready for everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's a good attitude to have, because, there's not a lot of artists that are, about just, I'm just going to take this opportunity and do it. Some people just actually sit and dwell on it. Like, no, you need to take every opportunity, no matter who it is, little, big.
Yeah,
absolutely. Who or who's there and who's listening. And I constantly stress that to people, especially independent artists, because nowadays you can just be at a show with somebody, an A&R from Universal can be right there wondering,
Well, you just never know, man. You just never know. So you always just stay ready for anything. You know what I mean? It could be anything. I could get a call tomorrow to do some acting or whatever, or do a commercial. I'm not going to turn it down either. I'm going to be ready for it, and I'm going to prepare to the best of my ability, and then, I'm going to just handle the rest once I get there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And funny thing, you just mentioned acting, and I was thinking to myself, Aaron would be good for acting and modeling. Have you ever considered both? Because, you got
bro. I'm definitely out here. I'm definitely out here networking and working on that stuff. We got some things coming up, so just stay tuned, bro. It's all in the works, man. It's all in the works. Acting is something I never really took serious. I'm just a clown by nature. But we got some things popping off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Absolutely.
That modeling, like I'm looking at like the pictures right now. I'm just like, whoa, the style is really different. It's more. I can't. It's unique. I can't even put the right words, but I'm gonna say unique. When I find the right words, I'm gonna tweet it out and be like, Aaron's style is that.
Thank you, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. For real, that means a lot, bro.
Not a problem. And you have a single, Madness, and the concept behind it and how the song came about is just so sick. Can you kind of tell the listeners how you came up with the song? Because when I heard how you came up with it, I was just like, whoa. It's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, it's just one of them songs, I had the idea, put in the situation I was put in, I had that idea, and I kind of just took the small situation of, meeting somebody that's dope, and you may be too drunk or too whatever to get their information that night at the club, wherever you at, or in the grocery store, wherever you meet someone at. I met this girl, I just did not get information, and it was literally driving me crazy, because I thought I wrote it down, and I thought I saved it on my phone, but I had no traces of her nowhere around, you know what I mean? So, I was just trying to drive myself crazy trying to get back in touch with this girl. And it happened later on, but, just taking that scenario and then just putting it on steroids in my mind and then just writing it all down and recording it, it just came to be a pretty decent, a pretty dope story to me. So, I just made a song out of it like I do everything else.
Nice. And like you said, you guys she ended up tweeting, well, you didn't say this, but I know this because I did my research. As you can tell. She tweeted that she was listening to one of your songs and you had hit her up. It's like, I was looking all over for you. Did you guys get a chance to like hang out and stuff like that?
I did. I got to meet her and all of that stuff. We went out to eat and we went to the club later on. It was dope. It was real dope. How she popped back up, you know what I mean? She just randomly tweeted me one day like, oh yeah, this is the dude I met that night at the club, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, this song's about you. I didn't tell her over Twitter, but you know what I mean?
Right.
It was just funny. It was just funny how it all happened. So yeah, we went out to eat and all that stuff. It was banging. It was real dope. So yeah, man, that stuff happens, man. So when it happens, use the inspiration, man, to your advantage, and you just use it. That's how I'd stay creative in my own little weird way. You know what I'm saying? It just works with me like that.
I feel you on that because I do the exact same thing. Like I have some songs on my EP about certain songs, and when I told her, she was like, "Oh, really?" But then when there's another song when it wasn't so nice,
right. Right.
Oops. Oh well. And I think people I think that's always the best way to let your feelings out, especially when you meet this girl and you're like, oh my goodness, I gotta find her, or this chick is really getting on my damn nerves. Like I think those are the best songs because everybody can relate to it. They can flip it and say, oh, this guy's getting on my nerves. It's just so real.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, it's life. It's for living and it's for learning. So, you take these experiences, and when you have a gift of writing or singing or whatever it is, you take these experiences and don't be afraid to use them. You know what I mean? You use them. That's your creative outlet. And a lot of people don't, whether they think they can really sing or not, you can still, the experience happen, you know what I mean? The instance happens, so you use it, and you just make something out of it, you know what I mean? So why not a song? And, thank God it paid off.
Absolutely. So when you told her that it was about her, like what was, if you don't mind me asking, what was her reaction to that?
Oh, well, she didn't believe me. She didn't believe me at all, but I was like, nah, I remember the whole night. I remember how it happened. You went this way, and then you went in the cab, hopped in the cab. But before you got in the cab, I didn't have your number. Da-da-da-da-da. I explained the whole thing of how it happened and how it went down. She was like, wow, you got to be kidding me. And I was like, nah. Well, now you know. Next time, so give me your number now so we don't have to go through this again. If I got to write about you again, it won't be pretty. So, yeah, man, I mean, I explained that whole thing. She didn't believe me at first, but, yeah, I was like, yeah, it's about you. You know how girls are. They're like, oh, whatever, boy, it was about some girl. You just lying, da-da-da-da. I was like,
we like, don't gas me up. And we're like, yeah.
I don't have time to argue with you. You either take it or leave it. The song was about you. So, it was dope, man. I explained that whole thing to her. She was flattered, so it was dope.
And I like the concept of the video because it's a little different. It wasn't what anybody would expect. If you guys can check out the music video for Madness, you guys can find the music video on YouTube.